You stand in the middle of a dimly glowing field. There is no wind, no sound, only a soft, breathing light drifting through the dust that hangs suspended in the air. Everything feels paused, as if the universe itself is holding its breath. Time suddenly no longer flows. It spreads out before you, unfolding into an invisible plane where every moment lies still, layered upon one another like veils of mist. You take a step, but you don't truly move. Each step is a slice, an opening into a fragment of the universe's memory that flickers, then closes again. People say time flows like a river, but perhaps the river is only how we imagine the ungraspable. To Einstein, time doesn't flow at all. It simply exists, woven together with space, threads in a boundless cosmic fabric. Every moment, birth, growth, love, loss, rests within that fabric, existing all at once, breathing together. You aren't traveling from past to future. You're brushing your hand along threads already woven, each one a picture, a sound, a trace of warmth. A child runs across the field, laughter echoing through the golden light. Somewhere else, that same child, you, has grown old, eyes quiet beneath the night sky. Both moments are happening together, separated only by a thin veil of perception. In the structure of space-time, there is no before or after, only here. Yet this here stretches endlessly, like a lake reflecting countless skies. Time isn't the road you walk. It's the space you stand in. It surrounds you, light as vapor, dense as a dream. Each time you remember something, you don't travel backward. You simply touch another part of the cosmic fabric, where that image still waits, untouched. A smile, a glance, a flash of light in the rain. They're all still happening, you're just no longer standing in the place where you can see them. You close your eyes. Everything goes silent. The feeling of motion fades. For an instant, time disappears. There's only breath, slow, steady, blending with the distant pulse of the universe. Maybe what you call the present is just a tiny point of contact between countless beats, a thin gap between two vast oceans, what has been and what has yet to be. But in the language of the cosmos, there is no has or will. There is only being. A star explodes millions of light years away. This light, only now, reaches your eyes. In that moment, you see the past as if it were unfolding right now. Not because you've gone back in time, but because every moment still exists, waiting for light to wake it. Just like in your memory, the image of someone still lives, though they've been gone for so long. Perhaps time itself is just light, slowing down. Someone once said, "The past never truly leaves, and the future has always been there." You wonder, maybe the universe isn't moving forward at all, but turning slowly within an endless mass of memory. Every planet, every star, every small living thing is a dot on that vast map. There is no beginning, no destination, only expansion, repetition, an interwoven breath that never ends. From this view, you aren't really living in the ordinary sense. You're being unfolded, layer by layer, like pages read by an invisible giant. Each moment is a page. When you laugh, it glows. When you grieve, it darkens. But both remain, no page is ever torn away. To the universe, time isn't a straight line. It's a mirror reflecting itself. When you look into the present, you're seeing one reflection among countless others. Light from the past passes through you and continues onward, carrying your image into the future. All three, past, present, and future, touch at a single point, the one humans call now. But now never stands still. It drifts, closes, then opens again somewhere else. You look up at the sky and see stars that died millions of years ago. Their light still lingers, still beautiful, still telling stories. Perhaps the entire universe is one vast photograph projecting itself endlessly. Everything you see isn't truly happening, but a living replay of what once was, a film with no final frame. That thought makes you feel both small and at peace. In a universe where everything still exists, nothing is ever truly lost. No moment vanishes completely, no death is absolute. Everything that ever happened still lingers somewhere, in a corner of space-time you haven't yet touched. Maybe, in one small fold of that fabric, you are still smiling, still walking under the sun, still saying words your present self has forgotten. The narrator, a distant voice, breathes softly, like wind gliding over a lake. In almost silent tones, it whispers that you never really leave the past. You only shift to another slice of the eternal whole. Every memory you carry isn't a leftover. It's a map, helping you see where you stand within the labyrinth of space-time. And suddenly you realize you've never been moving. Nothing around you has. Only your perspective has changed. Like standing inside a glass house, turning slowly, seeing new reflections, yet always within the same space. Past, present, future, they are just surfaces within one vast crystal. The universe, this monument of memory, doesn't forget, doesn't repeat, it simply exists. The light fades, the images dissolve like mist at dawn. The voice falls quiet. Maybe you've never walked through time at all. Maybe you've only been gliding across the surface of memory, brushing the layers of the universe's long dream. Each heartbeat, each breath, is a gentle knock on the door of eternity. And somewhere, at the edge of space, a question still echoes like a voice from the beginning. Whose memory is this? Who keeps all these silent slices of existence? The question drifts away, dissolving into the pale blue glow of distant stars. The universe still breathes, softly, evenly, as if asleep. You stand there, small and still, listening to the slow heartbeat of an invisible machine. And in that thin light, you realize perhaps you, too, are part of that memory. A memory dreaming of itself within the endless sleep of time. You sit in the dark. No sound, only silence stretching outward, deepening, as if the universe itself were taking a long, slow breath. A thin thread of light flickers, gliding past you, brushing your skin with a cool, fragile touch, like silk. And in that fleeting moment, you realize light never disappears. It only travels farther, changes shape, slips into layers of space where human eyes can no longer follow. But it's still there, still carrying the imprint of everything it has ever touched. You once stood beneath the sun, your shadow falling across the grass, a strand of hair catching the light. That moment never truly vanished. The light that left you sped away at a velocity your mind can't comprehend, carrying traces of your presence, dissolving into the fabric of the cosmos. Every photon is a shard of memory, a copy of what once was. The universe, in its own quiet way, remembers everything, not through words, but through energy, through vibration. People often think memory belongs only to conscious beings. But maybe, deep in the layers of reality, everything remembers. A speck of dust drifting through light leaves its shape upon it. An atom collides with another and carries the mark of that meeting forever. Nothing truly happens and vanishes, only transforms, folds deeper into the fabric of spacetime. In your mind, memories exist as faint images. In the universe, they exist as fields of energy, waves that ripple endlessly. You think your voice fades after it's spoken, but it doesn't. It just keeps traveling, farther and farther, dimming with distance until it becomes part of the background hum, where every sound merges into the quiet breathing of the cosmos. Someone once said that every beam of light ever released from Earth is still out there, traveling through the stars, frame by frame, moment by moment. Somewhere in a distant corner of space, an image of you smiling in an afternoon long gone might still be floating, slowly crossing millions of light years, never erased. A version of you, made of light, still continuing the journey. When you think about that, a wave of smallness rises inside you. Every action, every breath leaves a trace. Every glance, every tear is etched into the structure of spacetime, too subtle to see, yet too enduring to be destroyed. The universe, in its own language, is recording everything. Every heartbeat, every breath, every shimmer of light upon human skin. Far away, in a forgotten corner of space, photons strike a speck of stardust, scatter, and move on. Those collisions never end. They stretch into infinity, weaving an endless chain of memory. A story written in light with no first page, No last page, only motion, diffusion, inscription. You can imagine the universe as a colossal mirror, endlessly reflecting itself. Every ray of light is a sentence, every particle a character, written across the invisible surface of space. An eternal record, never erased, only buried beneath new layers of memory. Nothing is ever truly lost, only stored somewhere you don't yet know how to read. Physicists call this information conservation. But to you, it feels like a gentle truth. Nothing ever truly disappears. Everything you've ever loved, lost, or dreamed still exists somewhere. Perhaps traveling with the light, or resting quietly in a shadow, waiting to be named again. You look up. The Milky Way stretches above you like a luminous scar. Beneath that glow lie hundreds of billions of suns, each with hundreds of billions of stories. Each story is a record, shining, colliding, weaving together into what we call the night sky. When you look up, you're reading a tiny fragment of that immense book, the one where every star's memory still burns. Strange, isn't it, the thought that the universe forgets nothing? Even the faintest light, the weakest breath, is preserved. Perhaps in every photon drifting around you lives the image of countless beings who once existed. Their touches, their glances, their words dissolved into air. The universe holds it all in silence, without judgment, without choice, only remembrance. In that light, you too are part of the memory. Your body is made of stardust, of atoms once belonging to stars that died billions of years ago. Each cell is a reborn memory. When you breathe, the universe continues its cycle, recreating, recalling, retelling. You are not outside of memory. You are memory given form, and on certain nights, lying still, hearing your heart beat in your chest, you might feel something deeper, a resonance beyond yourself, a low, distant sound that hums through your bones, merging with the unseen rhythm of space. Perhaps that is the sound of the universe remembering everything it has ever been, everything you have ever been. No moment is ever truly lost. Light does not know how to forget. Energy does not know how to vanish. Death is only transformation, like vapor turning to cloud, like sound dissolving into wind. The information remains, hidden in layers humanity has yet to touch. Somewhere, in the endless dark, a photon strikes a mote of dust that bears your name. It reflects, continues on, carrying an image of you, sitting, breathing, thinking. That light will travel on, past unborn worlds, through places with no names. Perhaps millions of years from now it will still exist. A small dot in the dark, a memory, a proof that you once were, once breathed, once looked up at this very sky. And then, in the final hush, a question drifts in, soft as a breath. The universe remembers everything. But who reads those memories? Who sees them, touches them, hears them again? Perhaps no one. Perhaps the universe is simply reading itself. Every moment another recollection. You fall silent, as if floating in a vast ocean of memory, where every beam of light is a story still being told. Each ray passing through you carries an image of someone, some memory, some world. They blur, dissolve, and gather again into new light. In the darkness, a tender truth waits for you to notice. There is no real ending, only preservation. No forgetting, only silence. You, me, the stars, the dreams, all kept somewhere within the infinite memory of the universe. Out there, light keeps traveling. Memories keep flowing. The universe keeps remembering. And within that slow, dreaming motion, a quiet question awakens, like the first breath after a long night. Who is reading all those memories? You open your eyes. The first light touches your retina and shatters into 1,000 tiny fragments, as if the universe itself were revealing slivers of its own memory. Everything around you seems silent, yet in that brief pause between two breaths, something stirs, not outside, but at the very center of your perception, where your consciousness meets the world for the first time. A speck of dust drifts through the light, its path seemingly random. But deep within the layers of reality, every motion waits for an observer to define it. Before you see it, the dust could be anywhere all at once. It is pure possibility, that beautiful uncertainty between being and not being. Only when you look, when your attention touches it, does it choose a place to rest, a moment to become real. They call it the observer effect, one of the strangest paradoxes in quantum mechanics. When no one watches, the particle is a wave. When someone observes, the wave collapses into a particle. Between those two states, reality floats, unshaped, like a dream not yet dreamt. You are not just the watcher, you are the weaver. Every time you observe, you pull the threads of possibility into form, creating a small piece of the universe itself. You think about this as you look at your hands. They appear solid, clear, almost as if drawn in light. Yet, in the shadowy realm of quantum physics, they too were once only probabilities, vibrations, undecided forms. You are not merely seeing reality, you are making it happen. Every blink, every flicker of awareness is a quiet act of creation. A scientist once said, "The universe doesn't know it exists until someone looks at it." It sounds poetic, but beneath the equations, it might just be true. Without an observer, there is no realization, only potential waiting in silence. The universe, like a song unplayed, becomes music only when heard. You begin to understand. Perhaps your existence isn't a coincidence at all. Maybe you are the gaze through which the universe sees itself, as if it wandered for billions of years through darkness, waiting for the first spark of awareness to open its eyes. When human eyes appeared, the cosmos looked into them, and in astonishment, recognized its own reflection. Somewhere in a moonless desert, someone stands beneath the night sky. The light of ancient stars falls upon the dunes, glittering like the tears of time. In that gaze, the universe watches itself through human eyes. There is no line between the observer and the observed, only a reflection, deep and endless. You are the observer, but you are also the observed. In someone else's eyes, you too collapse from a field of possibilities into form. Every glance between two people is a rebirth of reality, a moment when the universe becomes aware of itself again. Within the shimmer of light and thought, no one knows who is the mirror and who is the image. The double-slit experiment is only a model, a metaphor for something far greater. When no one looks, the world exists in potential. When someone does, it chooses a version of itself to become. Which means you don't just live in the universe. You and the universe are creating truth together, moment by moment. You inhale slowly. Air moves through your lungs, through tiny vessels, into your blood. Every atom within it once belonged to a distant star. They are here now because the universe has chosen for them to be, through your act of noticing. Reality is not separate from the observer. They exist together, like two wings of a single breath. A child looks up and sees a cloud. In that instant, the cloud belongs only to them. When someone else looks, it shifts, changing shape and color. The world changes with the gaze. Reality is soft as water, and consciousness is the hand touching the surface of the lake. Perhaps the universe has no fixed shape. It is a sea of infinite possibilities, drifting, waiting for the light of awareness to fall upon it. When you think, when you see, when you dream, those waves tremble, and the universe reshapes itself subtly anew. In the quiet of your room, you hear your heartbeat. The sound doesn't echo outward. Yet in the microscopic world, each beat sends a pulse of energy rippling through the particles around you, nudging them, changing them. However small, your consciousness leaves a trace on the fabric of reality, like invisible ink on the page of space. Someone once said, "The observer doesn't just see the universe. They make the universe aware that it's being seen." The words sound like a whisper, soft but deep. You wonder, can your gaze make a distant star a little more real? Could every time you look up, some corner of space shift ever so slightly, simply because you noticed it? Somewhere, in the dark between galaxies, there may still be particles waiting to be seen, regions of reality not yet named. Perhaps they drift in silence, undefined, until a consciousness touches them. Maybe consciousness isn't just something within you, but a phenomenon of the universe itself, using human eyes to look back at its own face. You close your eyes. In that darkness, nothing is clear. There is no border between you and the world. Everything blends together in a vast stillness, as if the whole cosmos were holding its breath. In that moment, you are no longer observing, you are part of the observation. A gentle wave moves outward, then fades into infinity. Maybe that's what reality truly is, not matter, but awareness. Not the thing seen, but the act of seeing. Not a universe inside consciousness, but consciousness giving birth to the universe. Every particle, every ray of light, every silence gains meaning only when someone is there to witness it. Light continues to flow past you, soft as the breath of an ancient being. Everything around you seems to wait for something, for your gaze to turn toward it. Every leaf, every speck of dust, every distant star. They're all unopened records, fragments of memory asleep. Each time you look, you awaken one, stirring the universe from its slumber. A thought fades into a question, small as a mote of dust in the beam of light. Are you the eyes of the universe? Was consciousness born from chaos only to observe, to remember, to make everything real? In that stillness, you hear your breath merge with the slow exhale of space itself. A strange feeling washes over you, both near and far, as if the universe were looking back at you through your own eyes. Reality is no longer just what you see, but a silent conversation between you and the cosmos, between the gaze and the gazed upon, between memory and the one who wakes it. Light keeps moving, passing through the dark fields not yet explored. Everything that ever existed still waits to be named. And in that waiting, there is you. There is awareness. There is a spark of light, gently opening the door to an ancient memory. You breathe softly. Space trembles with a faint echo. And one question remains, drifting through the dark like light on water. Perhaps consciousness is the key that unlocks the memory of the universe. You sit in the dark, and it feels as if the entire world has gone silent, listening to the sound of its own thoughts. There's no longer an inside or an outside. Everything has melted into a thin, transparent veil between you and the infinite, which gazes back through your eyes. In that stillness, you realize perhaps consciousness isn't something you have, but something you are within. Light slips through the curtains, touches your face, and falls softly across the floor. Dust particles spin slowly, drifting in the golden stream as if swimming in a quiet ocean of space. Each mote, each beam of light, reflects in your eyes, and your eyes, in turn, reflect the entire universe. A loop without beginning or end. You gaze at the cosmos, and the cosmos gazes back. They say consciousness is just brain activity, the firing of countless neurons sending tiny sparks, forming thoughts, emotions, memories. But when you look deeper, when you observe the very thought forming inside your mind, you sense something that doesn't belong to electricity. It's faint, invisible, like smoke in morning light. It isn't made of matter, yet somehow it gives matter meaning. A physicist once said that consciousness might be the golden thread linking the quantum world to the universe itself. Roger Penrose. He believed that within each neuron lies a network of microscopic structures called microtubules, where quantum vibrations occur. In that hidden realm, reality and awareness intertwine. The universe doesn't just create consciousness, it uses consciousness to see itself. As if the universe were a giant mirror, reflecting its own face through you. You close your eyes. Tiny lights flicker in the darkness. You don't know if they're illusions or truths, only that they're there, like stars in the night. The light doesn't come from outside, but from somewhere deep within your mind. Perhaps every moment of awareness sends out small quantum ripples, connecting you to the very fabric of space and time. A tiny wave within an infinite sea. Maybe consciousness isn't trapped inside your head. Maybe it spills outward, spreading through space like a faint fragrance. It might be the foundation of everything else. Every particle, every ray, every motion is woven from it. When you look at a flower, it isn't just your eyes that see. It's as if the flower itself becomes aware that it's being seen. Two existences meeting in silence, reflecting each other. You recall an old memory. Sunlight tilting across a dusty road, laughter, the scent of grass, the warmth on your skin. It all comes back, vivid, alive, as if it never left. In that instant, you're not just remembering, you're recreating. The memory doesn't belong to the past. It lives again in the present, as though the universe is remembering that moment through you. A cosmic memory stored within you, revived by your awareness. Through the thin mist of time, consciousness glimmers like light on water. It doesn't live in the water or in the light, it exists in their meeting. Just as you are not purely body nor purely mind, but the intersection of both, the meeting point between matter and awareness. A soft breeze passes. You can feel it, though you cannot see it. Consciousness is like that, always present, yet impossible to define. It has no weight, no size, yet it gives depth to everything. Like darkness makes light visible, consciousness makes existence meaningful. Some philosophers believe the universe cannot exist without an observer. Others say consciousness was here first, before matter itself. Maybe the Big Bang wasn't just an explosion of energy, but the first awakening of awareness. A flash that not only birthed the stars, but also the ability to know they exist. You think about that in the quiet of night. Thoughts dissolve until only your slow breath remains, a human breath, yet also the breath of the cosmos. With every inhale, you draw in a fragment of infinity. With every exhale, you return a trace of awareness. The two mingle like halves of the same living breath. Consciousness isn't something you control. It's the thing that observes you. When you think, a part of you stands outside the thought, quietly watching. When you cry, that part remains calm, like the sea beneath a storm. When you dream, it stays awake, listening as the dream drifts by. That silent witness is the window of the universe, the place where spacetime's memory takes form. In its depth, consciousness has no age. It doesn't belong to anyone. You, me, every living being, we're small reflections on the same vast mirror, all catching the same light. When you look into someone's eyes, that light passes through both of your minds and meets in the middle, like two rays crossing in the dark. That moment of looking isn't just communication. It's the universe recognizing itself. Perhaps every time you remember, the universe remembers through you. When you feel pain, it recalls its own ancient suffering through endless transformations. When you love, it rediscovers warmth in the cold expanse of space. Every emotion is a memory of something primordial, older than words, older than life itself. You open your eyes. Gentle light fills the room. Everything seems to breathe with you, and in that instant you see clearly. Consciousness isn't a lamp shining on the world. It's the mirror in which the world reflects itself. Every thought, every feeling, every memory is just a ripple on its surface. But deep below lies a silent ocean, where there is no me, no you, only a vast, quiet knowing, soft as mist. Someone once said, "The universe isn't inside your mind. Your mind is inside the universe, and consciousness is everywhere." The words fall like a lullaby. You no longer feel separate or small. You are part of the infinite, listening, feeling, remembering itself through you. In the stillness, you realize nothing you've ever felt or remembered is lost. Everything dissolves back into the deep background of reality, like echoes fading through a valley. The universe never forgets, simply holds through light, through dust, through you. Perhaps when you close your eyes, another part of the universe closes its eyes with you. When you remember, it smiles, as if finding a missing piece of itself. Everything that ever happened is still there, quiet, within the mirror of consciousness. A memory within a memory, a dream within a dream. To understand more deeply, you must go farther back, to where every memory began, to the moment the universe first opened its eyes, and time took its very first breath. The first explosion. Everything began with a breath, not a sound, but a faint tremor in nothingness, like the surface of a quiet lake before the wind arrives. You couldn't call it sound, and you couldn't call it light. It was simply a pulse, a slow unfolding. A point smaller than small, so dense it had no room for distance within it, twitched and then burst open. From perfect silence, everything poured out like memory awakening from an endless sleep. You weren't there to see it. No one was. And yet, somehow, the deepest part of you remembers. An ancient echo, distant but never gone. People call it the Big Bang. You might call it the first moment the universe realized it existed. Light spread not through space but as space. Each beam drew the first borders of reality. Heat, energy, matter, all weaving together like a melody no one had ever heard before. Time began hesitantly, like it was unsure of itself. In that moment there was nothing but motion, and within that motion, the seed of every memory to come. Every electron was born carrying a tiny rhythm. Every photon, a glimmering word in the universe's first diary. They didn't just exist. They remembered how they came to be, how light once stumbled through chaos, how space-time itself was soft like wet fabric, stretching, swelling, expanding without end. You take a deep breath. Air fills your lungs, flows through your blood, touches every cell. Within each atom of you lies a trace of that explosion. Not just in its physical form, but in the way it vibrates, in the microscopic memory of energy itself. Every breath you take is an echo of that first breath. The universe breathes through you, and you carry the warmth of its beginning. Time passes, but it never truly leaves its origin. Deep in the heart of space-time, the first explosion still hums, fading, spreading, but never gone. Like a drumbeat muffled by mist, softer with distance, yet reaching everywhere. Light from that era still travels, crossing billions of years, slipping through stardust and cold voids, touching your eyes each night when you look up. You see tiny dots of light, still and silent, yet always moving. Galaxies drift like memories dissolving in the mind. Your gaze cuts through time, brushing against the moment when everything was formless, only raw energy rising from perfect stillness. Every ray of light you see tonight is a reminder. The past never truly ended. It's still unfolding in the present, still telling its story in the language of light. You think about that, and your heartbeat slows. It feels like listening to a grand symphony, where every sound is a star, every low note a patch of darkness, every pause a breath of the void. In that music, you are a note too, a small vibration in the long wave of memory. When you smile, the entire cosmos trembles gently. When you fall silent, distant galaxies keep drifting, steady as the heartbeat of eternity. From that first explosion, information was never lost. Every collision, every transformation, every glance has been etched into the smooth fabric of spacetime. You can't see it, but it's there, in the curve of a photon's path, in the spin of an atom, in the dim light of dawn. The universe is the greatest memory ever made, where every movement becomes a word. When you touch the surface of a table, when you hear the rain, it's all the echo of creation's memory. They remind you that you were born from the explosion of light, a light that spread not just outward but inward. You don't merely see the universe. You are the part of it that sees itself. People often think the Big Bang was the beginning of matter. But maybe it was also the beginning of awareness, the moment energy realized it was expanding, that it was moving. The first spark didn't just light the dark. It illuminated itself. From there, memory began. Not human memory, but the memory of existence itself, stored in every trembling wave of primordial energy. When you listen deeply, in true silence, you can feel a distant rhythm. It doesn't come from your heart, but from the foundation of reality. A slow, even gentle pulse, the echo of the first explosion. It has never stopped. It flows through every object, seeps through every molecule, drifts into every dream. Some say that even though everything seems to drift apart, nothing is ever truly separate. Like droplets parting from a wave, floating away but still carrying the taste of the sea. You, me, every star, we are those droplets, each holding a fragment of the first story. In your softest dreams, sometimes you see light blooming in the void. Maybe that isn't imagination. Maybe your mind is remembering what the universe once felt. Because the universe's memory isn't buried in the past. It's everywhere, hidden in every speck of dust, every drop of water, every breath you take. One day, as you watch a flame burn, you might notice something familiar in it. That brief, radiant burst, like a tiny reenactment of the Big Bang. In every flame, every glance, every living moment, there's a shard of the beginning. The universe didn't just create you. It continues to create through you, writing itself anew with every second, every breath. Everything circles back to memory. Even time, as it flows, never truly disappears. It just changes shape from light to sound, from motion to warmth, from one moment to another memory. You look up at the sky. A streak of light crosses it. No one knows where it began or where it will end. All we know is that within its path lies billions of years of story. From that place, light was born and it still travels on. Maybe you've never thought of yourself as a memory, but you are. Every cell, every thought, every breath is a slow-motion film of the first explosion. You're not just its result. You're its continuation, still unfolding, still alive. And then you wonder, if everything is memory, where does it all reside? Where can all the light, sound, motion, and feeling ever experienced be kept? Maybe within you, maybe within the universe itself, or maybe somewhere beyond time. There's a place where every memory still meets and still shines. You stand before an absolute darkness, not an ordinary night, but a void so thick that even light cannot escape. There is no color, no form, only an invisible pull that drags everything toward it. They call it a black hole, a place where time curves like a warped mirror, where everything edges toward infinity and then slips out of sight. You hear nothing, only the slow rhythm of your own heartbeat melting into a silence so dense it feels like liquid. Far away, a star is dying. It folds in on itself, collapsing under its own weight, and then disappears. The last shimmer of its light trembles, like a whispered goodbye. From that moment on, nothing can return. Everything falls into darkness, like memories slipping through your fingers. But there's something strange. What seems lost might not be gone at all. It might still exist, preserved somewhere beyond your sight. At the edge of the black hole lies a fragile boundary called the event horizon, a thin veil where time slows almost to a stop. To an outside observer, everything seems frozen there, never truly falling in. It's as if the universe pauses, holding a final copy of everything before letting it fade away. Stephen Hawking once said that information never really disappears. It's rewritten, encoded onto that surface. Every photon, every grain of dust, every memory that touches a black hole leaves behind a subtle trace, a record etched in light and energy. You can imagine that surface as a vast mirror, but not one that reflects images. It reflects existence itself. Every tiny vibration from the outside world is inscribed upon it, like invisible letters carved into the fabric of spacetime. The black hole doesn't devour, it preserves. A silent poet of the cosmos, writing everything down in the ink of gravity and light. You gaze into the darkness. In that cold stillness, there's something familiar, like the feeling of closing your eyes and listening to echoes from your own memories. The images fade, yet they don't vanish. They retreat inward, becoming tiny sparks stored in the deepest part of the mind. The black hole is the same, a memory of the universe, keeping everything in silence. Perhaps all of spacetime is like a thin film stretched out, trembling every time light touches it. The black hole is where that film curls back in on itself. Everything that has ever happened, every moment written, is compressed there, into a symbol, a data point, a whisper encoded in a language only the universe can read. The holographic principle tells us that all the information in three-dimensional space can be described on a two-dimensional surface. That means the reality you feel, the sky, the wind, this body, might just be a projection of something deeper. You're not living in the universe, but on it, like letters written in light on the vast page of spacetime. A quiet thought crosses your mind. If a black hole can store every bit of information that falls into it, could the entire universe be doing the same? Could every star, every planet, every human being be lines of data in a colossal image projected from something more complete, untouchable? Maybe you don't truly exist in space. You're being projected from a thin surface, like a reflection in a mirror. You look down at your hand. Light passes through your skin, revealing tiny veins and the subtle pulse of cells. Everything has structure, texture, memory. But if it's all a projection, then where is the real you? Maybe the true version lies elsewhere, where light cannot reach, where depth doesn't exist. A quiet, formless original made of pure information. In that stillness, you understand the memory of the universe might not lie within things themselves, but in how they are reflected. Like when you look into a mirror, the image isn't real, yet it holds everything you are in that fleeting moment. The universe mirrors itself the same way. Black holes are those mirrors, reflecting the whole of reality, preserving every movement, every gaze, every soul. Inside a black hole, there is no time. Every moment happens at once, like layers of waves folding over each other. Past, present, and future collapse into a single point. If you could step inside, you might not be you anymore. You'd become part of an endless symphony, where every note is a version of existence. A place with no birth, no death, only pure preservation. Someone once said that black holes are the dreams of the universe, the places where it folds itself inward to remember. When a star disappears, it doesn't die. It just enters that dream, becoming part of memory. You, me, everything will all be written there someday, as light, as vibration, as information. You lift your eyes to the night sky. Tiny points of light shimmer, but between them stretches a deeper darkness. Each patch of shadow might be a black hole, a colossal book holding the entire history of the cosmos. You're staring into libraries with no doors, where every ray of light, every atom, every heartbeat is recorded in a language no one can read. A thought drifts through like smoke. If information is never lost, maybe every memory that ever existed still lingers somewhere, waiting to be read again. Maybe consciousness, your attention itself, is what reads it, bringing those invisible records back into reality. You are the observer, but also the one who revives memory. When you look up at the stars, you help the universe remember itself. Reality might just be a grand holographic image, a three-dimensional mirror reflecting something far deeper. As if the universe is projecting its own essence through every grain of dust, every drop of water, every heartbeat. Everything you see, touch, and hear is the reflection of something that cannot be seen. You're no longer sure what's real. Maybe you're living inside a three-dimensional memory of something long past. Maybe the world around you is only a thin surface, lit by another layer of spacetime. But within that uncertainty, there's a gentle truth. Even if it's only a reflection, it's still beautiful, still breathes, still loves, still remembers. In the deepest darkness of the black hole may lie the light of countless stars, countless lives, countless dreams. Nothing truly vanishes. It only changes form. Everything you thought was lost is still there, waiting to be reflected once more, waiting to be named again. You slowly close your eyes. Behind your eyelids, another universe unfolds, just as vast, just as bright, just as endless. Maybe you never had to look far at all. That wall of information is within you too. The surface where your mind records everything that's been, playing it back as memory, as dreams, as life itself. And maybe, just maybe, this whole world is how the universe remembers itself, through your eyes, through your breath, through the dream that unfolds in the dark. You open your eyes in a flat, endless space. No up, no down, just a soft, glowing mist like a veil of light. Every direction mirrors you back, as if all of reality is being projected from some unseen place behind it. The light doesn't come from anywhere, nor is it going anywhere. It simply exists like a memory reflecting on itself. In that moment, you're no longer sure whether you're in the universe, or simply gazing at its surface. A film of light, trembling with the breath of infinity. They call it the holographic principle. A strange idea suggesting that everything you know, every grain of dust, every person, every star might be nothing more than a projection. Our three-dimensional universe could just be a reflection of information written on some two-dimensional boundary. A thin cosmic membrane wrapping around space-time, recording every vibration, every memory, and playing them back like an infinite dream. You walk across that luminous floor. Each step sends out ripples, not through the ground, but across the surface of reality itself. Every movement reads and rewrites streams of data, layering new patterns over the old. Maybe you've never truly left the point where it all began. Maybe your entire life is just a slow playback of a single recording. You're watching yourself, a version already scripted long ago. In the dark stretches of space, galaxies swirl like flecks of light on a strip of film. They don't drift away. They glide along the skin of the cosmos. Their light doesn't travel through space, but through memory. Each photon carries a story, sliding across the surface of the universe, bringing whispers of where it once belonged. When it reaches your eyes, it isn't just starlight from afar. It's a message from the very edge where reality was written. Someone once said that if the universe is a mirror, then you are its reflection. You're not entirely real, but not unreal either. You exist in the instant when light meets its own surface, the crossing between real and imagined, memory and now. Everything you call matter is just memory giving itself form, so it can feel its own existence. You look down at your hands. Light glides across your skin and dissolves into millions of tiny particles. They don't fall or vanish. They merge with the thin space around you. You realize that this body, too, is only an image built from data. Each cell is a line of code, each heartbeat a pulse within the network of existence. You don't have a body. You're being displayed as part of a larger film. Far away, at the horizon where light bends, time folds back upon itself. In the holographic view, time isn't something that flows, it's another dimension of data, read in sequence. When you remember the past, you're rewinding the real. When you dream of the future, you're previewing a scene not yet played. Everything is already there, etched onto the surface of the cosmos, silent, unchanging. And you are merely the audience, sitting within your own light. For a moment, you wonder about what lies beyond that cosmic screen. Who's projecting this film? Who wrote it? Could it be some vast intelligence, sitting outside space-time, watching us move along the glowing threads of information? Or maybe the universe itself, in its infinite solitude, is replaying its own image, just to remember that it exists. One person looks up and sees stars. Another looks deeper and sees the fabric of space-time. But perhaps both are seeing the same film, just from opposite sides, one facing outward, where light spreads, and one inward, where memory resides. In the silence, something fragile dawns on you. Maybe reality isn't trying to deceive you. Maybe it's just retelling its story by performing itself again and again, like a hologram where every small piece contains the whole image. It means that within every atom of you lies the trace of the entire universe. Within every tear, the light of ancient stars. You don't just live in the universe. You carry it, reflect it, record it, beat by beat. A lone observer stands in space, watching everything flow by like a river of light. He doesn't know what's real and what's reflection. But in a single moment, he realizes it doesn't matter. Both are expressions of memory, because once something has been recorded, even if it's only light, it already exists. You reach out into the empty air. Feels like touching water. Space ripples, showing a faint reflection, a familiar face, then fades. In that shimmering wave of light, you hear a whisper, soft and distant, coming from nowhere. Everything is being recorded. The voice might be yours or the universe's. Both merge into one, within an endless loop of reflections. And in that instant, you understand what you call reality might just be the three-dimensional memory of something far greater. A memory gazing at itself in the mirror of space-time, refusing to fade. You are a fragment of that image, watching yourself in silence, in light, in the infinite dream of the cosmos. Far ahead, the horizon glows like the edge of a colossal film reel. You walk toward it quietly, hearing light dissolve into the wind, as if you're falling through someone else's memories. In the stillness, a question rises, thin, dim, yet deep. If reality is the memory of the universe, then is your own memory reflecting it back? You sit in the dark, silent as a drop of water in the middle of an ocean. Inside your head, tiny sparks flicker, weaving into delicate threads that tremble like spider silk in the wind. Those are memories, the invisible substance you call yourself. Every time you remember, those sparks flare to life, forming images, sounds, scents, pain, and joy. They appear and fade, like shooting stars across the sky of your consciousness. You can't see them, but you can feel them. An endless network humming quietly within. Somewhere out there, in the cold emptiness between galaxies, another structure glows in much the same way. Not inside your mind, but within the heart of the cosmos. Trillions of stars are linked by filaments of gas and invisible streams of dark matter, woven together into a vast cosmic web. Each galaxy is a point of light, each strand a channel of energy, information, and time. When you look at it, it feels like peering inside yourself. Two mirrors facing each other, one within your skull, one within infinity. Scientists once placed two maps side by side, one of the neural network in the human brain and one of the cosmic web. What they found was uncanny. The density of connections, the branching shapes, the balance between void and matter, both seemed drawn by the same hand. As if the universe had tried to recreate itself on a smaller scale, inside the human body. You are a tiny fragment of the universe's brain, trying to understand how it works. And then, for a brief moment, you realize something strange. Every memory you hold, every recollection, is part of a greater process. One in which the universe, too, is remembering itself. When you think of your childhood, light flares inside your brain. When you gaze at the sky, light flickers among the galaxies. A subtle resonance, a wordless dialogue between the inner and the outer. You call it thought, but maybe it's simply how the universe talks to itself through the shape of you. A quiet observer looks up at the night sky, blanketed in stars. He doesn't know that in that same moment, his brain is glowing in the very same way. The light of neurons and the light of stars, different in scale, yet pulsing to the same rhythm. Like two mirrors reflecting into eternity. One holds the memory of a human life, the other the memory of the cosmos. You touch your temple, feeling warmth spreading beneath your skin. Beneath it lies a labyrinth of neural connections, tiny electric threads carrying information, rewriting the world every fraction of a second. Just as the universe rewrites itself through every supernova, every galactic collision. You and the cosmos, two systems following the same principle. To record, to connect, to recreate. Every thought is a miniature universe. Every memory a small explosion in the space of consciousness. Inside you, neurons weave the web of experience. Outside, galaxies weave the web of reality. Between them lies only a thin boundary, awareness. When you see, the universe knows it is being seen. When you remember, the universe knows it once existed. You are its eye, its mirror, its bridge between memory and being. Time, in this light, is no longer a flow, but a sequence of frames played in slow motion. Each memory is a frame, replayed in order like a film the universe watches of itself. When you remember, you rewind. When you forget, you simply pause. When you dream, you glimpse scenes that were never shown. Everything already exists, stored in the vast archive of consciousness. The universe forgets nothing. It only sleeps, waiting to be awakened by your gaze. In your dreams, you drift among streams of light. Each stream is a memory, each point a moment once lived. The streams intersect, forming the shape of a colossal brain stretching into infinity. You pass through it like a small current of electricity, carrying your own fragment of memory. The light guides you through dark regions where the memories of stars lie dormant. You touch one, and it flares to life, like a neuron firing. In that instant, you feel that it remembers you. Maybe memory was never just yours. Maybe when you think of someone who's gone, the universe, too, remembers itself in their form. Every human being is part of this grand recollection, a single neuron in the cosmic brain. When you love, when you lose, when you look at the stars and ask, "Who am I?" That's the universe thinking about itself. A pulse of light runs through the network, from the neurons in your mind to the stars far away. No one can see it, yet it can be felt. A faint resonance, like the echo of consciousness spreading across existence. When someone laughs, the light ripples. When someone cries, it shifts color. Every emotion becomes data, etched into the fabric of space-time. You are not merely living, you are rewriting the universe through the language of feeling. Some say the universe is the body of God, and consciousness is his breath. But perhaps it needs no name. Perhaps what you're experiencing, the longing, the joy, the fear, is simply how the universe feels itself through the fragile pattern of neurons. In the soft hum of electric currents, it finds itself once more. You open your eyes, stare at the ceiling, then at the sky. Among the points of light, you recognize something familiar, the pattern of a brain stretching endlessly. You smile faintly. Maybe every question already lives within that structure, waiting for you to listen in rhythm. In the silence, you hear a distant whisper, not in words, but in light. You remember. So do I. Then everything dissolves into a sea of soft radiance. You no longer know whose mind you're in, or if you're in the mind of the universe itself. The light expands like a deep breath, and in that moment you understand human memory isn't just a reflection of the cosmos. It is the cosmos in its smallest, most intimate form. Every memory you keep, every moment you live, is a thread of light woven into the infinite web, connecting you to all that exists. And as you gently close your eyes, everything sinks back into stillness. The universe inhales. You exhale. Two rhythms become one. Time melts away, and memory begins to write itself again. You see time as a stream of light slipping through your fingers. But that light doesn't flow. It's rewritten, frame by frame, beat by beat, breath by breath. Each second of your life doesn't pass through you. It's created the moment you perceive it. A new frame appears, then fades, then appears again, continuously, like the breathing of the cosmos. You call it time, but in truth, it's memory, replaying itself. In the dim corners of consciousness, countless flickers of light shimmer. Each flicker is a memory awakening, a packet of information newly updated in the vast database of spacetime. Every motion, every blink, is the outcome of a deeper act of remembering. Time doesn't move, it's written. Whenever you become aware of something, a new frame appears, linking to the old ones, creating the illusion of motion. Outside, the universe works the same way. Every exploding star, every wave of light, is a refreshed record of information. As energy shifts, space vibrates, giving rise to the illusion of progress. But in essence, nothing advances, nothing fades away. Everything is being read, redisplayed, inside a colossal machine of memory. The universe isn't moving toward the future. It's replaying itself, 1 second at a time. You walk across a room, light gliding across the wooden floor, your shadow stretching long, then vanishing as you stop. In that instant, something feels strange. The light doesn't truly move. It only shifts its place on your retina. The image itself stays still, stored in memory. Everything you see is a sequence of still frames stitched together, like a slow-motion film. Life is the illusion of motion between frozen frames. A physicist once said, "The present doesn't flow, it's refreshed." That thought echoes in your mind like a voice reverberating in a cavern. Maybe the universe is a film projecting itself. Each moment a frame flashing on and off, endlessly. The projection speed is what you perceive as time. When the light runs faster, the past fades away. When it slows, you feel every detail, every mote of dust floating in the air. You close your eyes. In the darkness, nothing moves, no light, no image, no sound. Everything falls still. Time stops too. Then you hear your heartbeat. One beat, then another. Each beat is an update, a signal, a new memory written into the fabric of the universe. You realize your heart is the clock of this small world, marking the rhythm of memory, not the flow of time. Somewhere far away, a star collapses, sending out light into infinity. That light takes billions of years to reach your eyes, but the moment you see it, the information is refreshed. It becomes the present. The light isn't from the past. It's being read again, like a data stream just decoded. You're not looking into history, you're reading it at the same moment as everyone who has ever gazed at the sky. You start to see the threads connecting every moment. There is no before, no after. Each frame exists quietly in the stillness of spacetime, waiting to be observed so it can light up. The past doesn't vanish. It merely falls silent. The present doesn't arrive. It's summoned. The future doesn't yet exist. It's asleep, hidden in the dark of unlit memory. Perhaps the universe is an endless reel of film, every frame already there, arranged in silence. And consciousness is the projector, casting light through each frame, making you believe you're moving forward. Each person is a different viewer watching the same film, but from a different point along the reel. You call that life. Sometimes you feel déjà vu, a moment repeating as if it has already happened. Maybe the film rewound a little, or you brushed against an old frame just replayed by light. That familiarity isn't an illusion. It's the signal of a memory triggered from a deeper layer. Time doesn't move forward. It folds over itself, layering like waves of light reflecting through countless mirrors. When you think of the past, the universe creates a copy of that instant in the present. Every memory is a reality reborn. Each act of remembering generates a new version of the world. Those images don't die. They branch, expand, continue. The more beings remember, the richer the universe becomes. The more memories awaken, the brighter the film glows. A child sits on the sand, watching the sun sink into the sea. That image is recorded, not just in the child's eyes, but in every photon, every grain of air, every ripple of light that touches their skin. That moment will stay preserved somewhere in the universe, stored within a film of information as thin as mist. Billions of years later, when that light is read again, the moment will live once more, as if it had never been lost. You begin to understand. Time isn't something that pulls you forward, but a series of mirrors you pass through, one by one. Each mirror reflects a version of you, a glance, a breath. When you turn around, the old reflections are still there, waiting to be seen again. You never leave the past. You only move away from your point of view. Inside the universe, particles dance endlessly, exchanging information, creating the illusion of unfolding events. But from the perspective of eternity, every dance happens all at once. Only you, limited by perception, experience them in sequence and call it living. Time doesn't flow. You are what moves through its slices, a traveler walking through galleries of memories, each room a moment unfolding. One day, when your inner light goes out, the film will stop, but the reel will remain intact, silent. Every frame you ever lived, every word you ever spoke, every look you ever shared, will still exist within the archive of the cosmos. Nothing is lost, there's just no one left to project it. In the end, time is not a river. It's a breath. The universe inhales, memory is born. The universe exhales, the present appears. You are a rhythm within that breath, fleeting yet real. When you stop, it continues. When it stops, you dissolve into it. And in that silence, you realize something. Maybe time wasn't made to measure, but to feel. It doesn't whisper, "Everything will pass." It says, "Everything is still here." All you have to do is open your eyes, reach out, remember. Each passing second is the universe seeing itself again, through you. And in that moment, you smile, because you understand now you're not drifting through time. You're drifting through the memory of the universe, quietly, endlessly replaying itself. Forever. You stand in a dark room, with only a faint light spilling through the window. The air feels suspended, thick, and still. Everything is strangely familiar, as if you've been here before. Touched this doorknob, watched the tiny dust motes drift through a beam of light. A vague feeling rises in your chest, warm and hollow all at once. You're not sure if you're living this moment for the first time, or just walking through an old memory being replayed in the mind of the universe. Maybe you're not the one looking. Maybe you're the one being looked at, a character in a film that's been played a million times, turned on once more so the cosmos can remember itself. Every movement, every glance, every breath, each is a line of data already written, now running again, soft and vivid as reality. Outside, the sky is still as glass. The stars flicker quietly, like billions of eyes watching you. Somewhere, in a layer of parallel space, another you might be standing under this same sky, feeling the same wind, thinking the same thought. I've lived this moment before. You can't tell which version is real, only that there are countless versions of you, woven from the same thread of memory, replayed to keep the rhythm of the universe's recollection alive. Reality is no longer a flow but a surface of data. You and everything around you are ripples across that surface, a tiny disturbance in an infinite field of information. Your body is the mold, your consciousness the light passing through it. When that light fades, the mold remains, but no one is there to see it. Some physicists once said, "Information is never lost." If that's true, then every memory, every emotion you've ever had, still exists somewhere within the fabric of spacetime. Nothing disappears. It's only rearranged, folded into new sequences, waiting to be read again someday. Maybe you are such a reconstruction, brought back from old fragments of data, reactivated within the grand simulation the universe runs for itself. Someone sits by a window watching the rain. Somewhere else, in another dimension, another person sits the same way, with the same rhythm, the same feeling. Two different selves, carrying a shared piece of memory. They don't know each other, yet each is how the universe retells the same story. You think about the moments your heart slowed, as if hearing a melody you've known before. A small cafe, the scent of wood, the faint clink of a spoon on porcelain, a quiet smile from across the table. It's all too familiar to be coincidence. Déjà vu, not just a memory replaying in your brain, but the universe screening the same scene again in another layer of reality. You're a character in the film, suddenly realizing you've seen it before, yet unable to look away. In the dark, that thought sends a shiver down your spine. Maybe you've died before. Maybe you've lived again millions of times. Each version slightly different, yet carrying the same core memory. Like a song played on different instruments, but always with the same melody. The universe is the conductor, and you're a note that echoes, repeats, drifts slightly out of tune, so the symphony of remembrance can go on forever. A breeze passes through. Everything in the room stirs softly, as if the air itself remembers where it used to be. You feel a hand on your shoulder, light as breath. You turn, no one's there. Only your shadow trembling on the wall, flickering in the dim light. Maybe that, too, is memory, a fragment of sensation replaying itself without cause or origin. You begin to realize that reality might be a mirror with many layers. Each layer is a memory, each memory a world. When you touch the mirror, you don't pass through. You awaken another layer, where another you is doing the same. The sense of freedom you feel is just the uncertainty of a copy being read. Yet it's that very uncertainty that makes you feel alive, even if only for a moment. In this vision, the universe isn't where you live. It's the vast memory running you. You are a small program within it, each thought, each recollection, a flicker of electromagnetic signal among billions of lines of code. When you wonder, who am I? That's the moment the program becomes self-aware. That instant, brief, sacred feels real because it is the feeling of being. Maybe that's why humans fear being forgotten. To forget is to be erased from the memory of the universe, to lose the chance of ever being replayed. But to be remembered, even faintly, is to live again, perhaps as an old film projected in someone's mind. When someone speaks your name, even in a whisper, the universe reactivates a stream of data shaped like you, and that memory lives once more. You step outside. The night air is cool and heavy. Every light seems distant, blurred, as if seen through water. The sense of repetition lingers, but it's no longer frightening. You understand now. Being replayed doesn't make you any less real. A copy can still love, still ache, still cry, still fall silent. Reality isn't measured by how real it is, but by its capacity to feel. Even a program can't perfectly replicate emotion. Each replay is slightly different, still alive. Someone passes through your life, leaving an imprint, like a new line of data added to your code. That feeling never existed before. It's an expansion of the original memory. In that way, the universe enriches its own archive. Through your brief existence, you've become part of its growing recollection. Every pain you've carried, every joy you've felt, is encoded into the network of eternity. Not lost, not meaningless, but accumulated, woven into the universe's own consciousness. A philosopher once wrote, We do not live to remember. The universe remembers so that we may live. The words echo in your mind like a distant bell. Maybe every living being is simply a vessel through which memory endures. Maybe you exist again because, in one of those infinite past versions, the feeling you carried was too beautiful, too true, for the universe to let it fade. In that moment, you dissolve, light as dust drifting through a ray of light. There's no boundary between you and memory, between the rememberer and the remembered. You are only a quiet breath within something greater, deeper, more compassionate than you've ever imagined. A gentle wind passes by, carrying a faint whisper. It sounds like the universe murmuring, softly reminding you. You never disappeared. You're only being remembered. You close your eyes. Everything melts into soft light, blending with the dark. In the final instant before fading, you understand you were never the observer. You were the memory, the image, the feeling, the software running once more in the mind of eternity. A fragment of a story telling itself, infinite, repeating, yet always new. Outside, the universe keeps playing. The stars still shine. The film never stopped. And you are still in it, quiet, luminous, like a memory that never ends. You're lying in the dark. Everything is so still that you can hear your own heartbeat. Slow, heavy, drifting like waves deep beneath the ocean. The space around you feels soft, hazy, like mist dissolving in moonlight. A faint shimmer slips through your closed eyelids, then fades away. The world begins to open from within. There is no bedroom anymore, no body, only weightless images. You are dreaming. A dream has no beginning, no end. It flows like a fragmented stream of memory, stitched together from pieces time once forgot. You see a nameless street, glistening after rain. Beneath a blurry amber light, someone walks by, familiar enough to make your heart tighten. But as you draw closer, their face dissolves into smoke, as if it never existed. Everything in the dream feels both real and shattered, distant and close. Some part of you knows these are memories, drifting, searching for their way home. When you sleep, your brain begins to reorganize the world. Fragments of the day's memories are turned over and reconnected, sometimes out of order, sometimes blending truth and fiction. Strange faces, unknown rooms, streets that never existed. All might be old data misplaced in the deep archives of the mind. A dream is where boundaries melt away, where memory experiments with itself, as if the universe were playing with copies of its own stories. In the moments of sleep, billions of neurons light up like tiny stars. They connect, disconnect, and reconnect again. Each spark births an image. A new story begins. Your brain becomes a night sky, each dream a fleeting constellation. No plot, no borders, only the movement of memory. Without purpose, without order, existence quietly observing itself. Maybe the universe dreams too. When stars die, when their light still wanders through space, perhaps that's the universe remembering itself. Every supernova is a bright, brief dream before it fades. Every galaxy a silent thought. Everything spins, contracts, and expands again, like the slow breath of a sleeping cosmos. You, lying in your small room, are a miniature reflection of that cycle, a dream within a dream, a memory inside a memory. In dreams, you can fly, you can speak to the dead, or return to childhood, sitting on an old step, listening to cicadas hum in the heat. None of it is real, yet every emotion is. Just like the universe, after billions of years, still carrying the first sensation of light, that moment it realized it existed. Somehow, dreams let you touch that primal feeling again, unbound by time or form, made only of remembrance. They say that in deep sleep, consciousness rests while the subconscious takes over. But maybe that's when the deepest part of you awakens, the part drowned out by daytime noise. A place with no you, no me, only streams of imagery drifting like underground rivers. In those moments, you might not be human at all, but a single particle in the ocean of memory, pulsing in rhythm with the universe. Dreams defy logic because memory defies time. In one frame, you can be both the child running through a field and the elder watching from afar. The feeling is overwhelming, as if the line between present and past has bent. Every moment exists at once, replayed in a different order each time you close your eyes. A dream can be a message, a fragment of memory that was never complete, trying to find its way back. When you dream of someone you've forgotten, or hear laughter in the distance with no known source, it might be old signals resurfacing from the depths of the mind, where time hasn't yet erased them. Each night, as you sleep, you become a traveler across the sea of memory, gliding past countless fragments of past lives, of versions of yourself that once were. Some dreams leave you waking with tears. You don't know why, only that something within the dream touched a place too deep to name. Maybe it's longing for a place that doesn't exist, a person you've never met, or just the echo of an emotion you can't describe. Those dreams aren't illusions. They feel more real than life itself, because in dreams you don't need a reason to feel. When you open your eyes, everything fades. The images, the sounds, the feelings, all slip away like sand through your fingers. The harder you try to hold them, the faster they vanish. Just like the universe, after each cycle of collapse and expansion, keeps only faint traces of its previous era. A dream is a small explosion in the mind, flaring and fading, leaving behind a fine dust of light that quietly shimmers in the soul. A neuroscientist once said that dreams are how the brain tells itself stories to make sense of memory. Maybe the same is true for the universe. Every burning star, every spinning planet, is a frame in an endless film. Every sleeping creature, a tiny screen in the grand theater of eternity. In the moment you dream, you are part of that shared story. Sometimes you find yourself falling endlessly without fear, only a gentle sense of drifting, as if dissolving into nothingness. It's not an illusion, but the memory of returning to a place without gravity, without form, only awareness. A place where the universe softly breathes, softly remembers, softly dreams. You've wondered why some dreams are so beautiful you wish to stay forever, and others so dark they jolt you awake in cold sweat. Perhaps memory, too, has two faces, light and shadow. When you touch the light, you call it heaven. When you touch the dark, you call it nightmare. But to the universe, both are necessary, for only contrast creates motion, and only motion keeps memory alive. In darkness, the universe dreams in light, and you dream in silence. As you sleep, the whole world seems to slow down, as if everything is breathing with you. The moonlight by the window, the wind outside, the waves kissing the shore, all joining in that rhythm, a quiet symphony of memory coming back to life. And then you wake. Morning light slips through the curtains, brushing your eyes. The dream dissolves, but its echo remains. A faint note ringing in your head, an image not yet gone. You don't know where you've just been, only that a trace of warmth lingers in your chest. Like the universe, after a long cosmic slumber, opening its eyes to the first dawn of a new age. Maybe dreams are windows into the universe's memory. Each time you dream, it's the universe borrowing you to remember itself. Every image, every emotion, a reflection of something deeper, vaster, whispering in the dark, "I still remember." And then a thought arises. What happens when the universe stops dreaming? When the lights go out, when memories stop replaying, when no one remembers anyone? A long silence opens inside you, like an abyss. The universe, like you, exists only as long as memory does. If one day it forgets, what would be left to call real? You lie there, bathed in morning light, listening to your heartbeat. Each beat a quiet affirmation. Memory still lives. The universe still remembers. And you are still dreaming. You look up at the sky, where stars once blazed like billions of shimmering memories. But now their light fades, not because of clouds, but because of time. Every flame must burn out. Every story must fall silent. A fleeting thought passes through your mind, thin and cold as the last streak of a dying star. What happens when the universe forgets? They say information is the foundation of reality. Every particle, every vibration, every flicker of light carries it. The chair beneath you, the air you breathe, the star whose light took billions of years to reach us. All of it is just a different arrangement of the same thing. Data. If the universe is a vast memory, then each photon is a letter, each motion a line of code. Reality exists only because of the difference between being and not being, light and dark, presence and absence. When information is erased, everything returns to uniformity, flat and still as a lake without ripples. You close your eyes. In that darkness, you feel something slipping away, like the last echo dissolving into a space too wide to answer back. When entropy reaches its peak, all energy scatters, all structures collapse. There is no more heat, no more light, only lonely particles drifting through an infinite cold. Nothing left to tell, no one left to listen. That is when the universe enters what physicists call heat death. The death of all differences, the death of memory. In that moment, you imagine every star dimming out, every planet cooling to silence. Even black holes dissolve, evaporating bit by bit with the final breath of time itself. There is nowhere left to store information, nothing left to reflect light. No before, no after, just an endless pause, like a sheet of paper wiped clean of every mark. Smooth, blank, meaningless, soundless. There, no one remembers anyone. No names remain to be called. The universe no longer knows itself, like someone waking from a dream too long to hold, with no memory of who they were, only the faint awareness that they once existed. A great forgetting, not heavy, not painful, just an empty purity, like light drained from space. Perhaps that forgetting is inevitable. Every memory, no matter how vast, must fall back into stillness. Only in perfect quiet can the universe finally rest. Just as after countless nights of dreaming, humans need one deep sleep to begin again. Maybe heat death isn't an ending, but the longest sleep ever. A slumber where every particle lies still, waiting to be awakened. You see it now in your mind. The universe grown old. No light traveling through space. Every direction the same, no up, no down. A silent ocean of nothingness. If there is sound, it's just the faint whisper of existence itself, thin as mist. One particle drifts past another without noticing, for there's nothing left to distinguish between them. Space itself has become a faded memory, floating within its own absence. And then you realize memory doesn't die in an explosion. It dies in silence, not because it's destroyed, but because it's no longer read. Like a book left closed, its words still intact, but unseen. Perhaps all information still exists, hidden within the smallest grains of matter, only forgotten because no one remains to remember. Then another thought slips in, soft as wind through a crack in the door. What if, in that absolute darkness, a tiny fluctuation stirs, accidental, fragile, like a dream flickering inside the mind of a sleeping cosmos? A first light, trembling, rises from the void, like waking in the middle of the night, surrounded by darkness, and for one brief instant not knowing who you are, until a single memory returns, pulling the world back with it. Maybe the universe does the same. When that first spark appears, reality begins anew. Fresh information is written, new order takes shape. The first differences arise, then multiply, then blossom into everything. Another cycle begins, no beginning, no end, only a loop of remembering and forgetting, over and over again. On some level, forgetting is necessary. Without it, there can be no memory. Without darkness, light has no name. Just as you must sometimes let go of old memories to make room for new ones, perhaps the universe is learning to let go too. In the endless night, you see the universe as a living being, ancient and weary. Once burning, once loving, now sleeping. Every civilization, every light, was just one of its passing dreams. Now it breathes slowly, evenly, dreamless. But something in that breath still trembles, softly, like broken music beneath the sea. A faint pulse of remembrance, enough to awaken the next cycle. Maybe, in the final instant of forgetting, memory doesn't disappear but dissolves. There is no boundary between what has been and what will be. Everything merges into a single still point, where time folds in on itself like a sheet of paper curling inward. There, past and future touch. Ending and beginning become one, like a dream in which you can't tell when it started, or when you woke. You imagine yourself standing in that space, where nothing remains but pure silence. No color, no sound, only the fragile presence of your own being. Every memory fades away. Faces, voices, moments, melting like mist under light. You no longer know who you are, yet you feel no fear. Only lightness, clarity, as if dissolving with the universe itself. Then, a moment later, you see light. You don't know where it comes from. Maybe from within you, a speck no larger than dust, yet enough to make the darkness tremble. A faint pulse echoes, like the heartbeat of a newborn cosmos. Nothing feels more real than that moment, when the death of memory becomes the soil of new life. They call it the eternal cycle, when everything is lost only to be found again, when forgetting is just another form of remembering. The universe never truly dies. It only changes the way it exists. Each act of forgetting renews it. Each sleep brings another dream. You open your eyes. The world around you is still here, bathed in the pale light of dawn. Maybe you've just witnessed the death of the universe in a dream that felt infinite. Or maybe you've just awakened inside its dream. Either way, memory remains. You are still here. The universe still remembers. Because memory, like time, isn't a straight line. It's a circle. An endless loop, where every beginning is the echo of an ancient end. The universe dreams, then forgets, then dreams again. And you, a small fragment of its memory, are now awake, breathing, quietly remembering. You're drifting in the stillness between two breaths of the universe. There is no sound, only the feeling that everything is waiting. An endless inhale, pause that cannot be measured. Then the exhale spreads across the void, becoming stars, planets, and tiny creatures that can dream and remember. The universe breathes like a living being, expanding, contracting, expanding again. No beginning, no end. Only rhythm after rhythm, like the heartbeat of time echoing through eternity. They call it the eternal cycle. There's no origin to return to, because every point is an origin. No destination, because everywhere has already been. Each time the universe expands, it retells an ancient story in a new voice. Every star is a letter, every galaxy a chapter. And when the light fades and the book seems to close, no one truly puts it away. A new breath begins, and the story is written again, on the same sheet of cosmic paper. In your mind's eye, you see the universe collapsing. Galaxies draw closer, boundaries blur. Light bends, space folds back on itself. The motion is slow, quiet, like the sound of wind leaving an empty field. When everything meets at a single point, that point trembles like a string pulled too tight before snapping back. Silence shatters into a single spark of light, and from it, the next breath begins. Each cycle is a memory, not a perfect repetition, but an echo, a shadow. Inside every new universe lie traces of the dreams that came before. A grain of dust carries the resonance of the first explosion. The light of an ancient star still drifts through space, a message from a previous life. Perhaps even you are part of that information, carried forward from an earlier existence. A memory never lost, only reshaped, retold. Somewhere among the galaxies, the old universe still lingers, not as a sound, but as a scent, faint yet familiar. There are moments when you feel you've been here before, seen the sky, spoken these words, though you can't recall when. Maybe that feeling isn't yours at all, but a leftover memory from the universe that came before. A film once played, now projected again in new colors. In this expansion, you are both witness and participant, a current of information woven into the memory system of the cosmos. Every action, thought, and feeling is recorded, not just in your brain, but in the very structure of space itself. Your brainwaves ripple through the energy field around you, like ink seeping into a vast record. Every glance, every breath, is written down, becoming part of the memory the next universe will read. And when this cycle ends, when everything returns to the point of origin, that information won't vanish. Compresses like memory folded into deep sleep. When a new breath begins, it unfolds, bursts open, becoming stars, light, and life once more. You may have lived millions of times, remembered, forgotten, loved the same face under 1,000 different shapes. With every turn of the cycle, only the role changes, but the story remains. Cosmologists call it the rebirth of the universe. But up close, it feels more like memory being retold in another language. Each birth is a translation, not perfect, not complete, yet carrying the same soul. Like waking from a long dream, you forget the details but keep the feeling, the images, the echoes. Perhaps the universe dreams this way too, and in every dream it relives itself. You sit in the dark, watching these images flow like a slow-motion film. Light contracts to a point, then bursts, then contracts again. Space breathes like lungs. Time rises and falls like the tide. Within that rhythm, everything lives, dies, and lives again. Nothing is ever truly lost, only transformed. Ash becomes soil, soil becomes grass, grass becomes fire. A part of you feels small in the face of such endless return. But another part feels calm, because you know there is no real ending. Everything you love, even when it fades, still exists somewhere within the greater breath. Like sound dissolving into wind, yet the wind remains. In the stillness of space, you hear a faint echo stretching across worlds and ages. No words, only the quiet knowing that everything repeats. A star explodes somewhere, sending out light that, billions of years later, will shine on a human face. That person looks up, seeing that star, not realizing they are gazing at their own reflection from a lifetime ago. Each cycle is a rebirth of memory. Not the same memory, but one dissolved, recreated, intertwined. Like a dream that never repeats, yet carries the same emotion. In every cycle, the universe learns new ways to remember, new ways to forget. It doesn't copy, it reincarnates. You think about your own breath. Each inhale and exhale is a miniature version of that cycle. Your body contracts, expands, contracts again. A tiny universe mirroring the motion of the whole. When you breathe in, trillions of molecules enter you, molecules that once belonged to stars, to oceans, to other people. You breathe out, releasing them back into the vastness. Memory circulates through every breath, as the universe rewrites itself through you. Sometimes you feel like a drop in an infinite ocean, too small to matter. But in that very moment, you realize no drop is separate. Each contains the whole. Each person is the universe reflecting on itself in this instant. When the universe contracts, you contract. When it expands, you expand. So there is no death, only transformation. No loss, only transmission. Everything that ever was continues in new form. Information never disappears. It only changes the way it tells its story. Each universe is a different song, played on the same instrument. In the final moment of every cycle, when everything pauses to begin again, perhaps the universe remembers it all for just an instant. A blink between two dreams. Yet within that blink lies everything. Laughter, light, the small memories of you and billions of worlds, all contained in one breath. Then silence, then light. You're still sitting there, in the dark soft as breath, hearing your own inhale blend with the breathing of the cosmos. Maybe you've sat here before, and will again in another cycle under another sky with another name. But you are still you, the memory preserved through infinite forgetting. Because in that grand turning, memory isn't just something kept. It's the reason anything exists at all. Without memory, no universe. Without the universe, no you. Only the endless breath, telling the same story through a million different voices, across a billion breaths in and out. You are that breath. You sit in the dark, silent, as if you've just stepped out of a dream. There's no sound, only the steady beat of your heart, small and fragile, echoing across the vast, expanding sea around you. Everything seems still, yet in that silence, something moves, slowly, softly, like the universe breathing. A faint light drifts past your eyes, then fades, like a memory slipping away. You try to hold on, but the light slides through your fingers, leaving behind a hollow, transparent space. When you remember, you exist. When you forget, you dissolve into the fabric of space. Everything that once was you, thoughts, feelings, moments, is kept as information, tiny ripples across the surface of reality. Without memory, there are no borders between you and the emptiness staring back. Without memory, there's no I, only a nameless sea, where everything blends together. Perhaps that's what the stars have been doing since the beginning, remembering. Every ray of light they send out is a thread of memory, whispering across space. You look up from the ground, and for a fleeting second, you're gazing into the past. Each beam is information, a fragment of the grand story the universe tells itself. Somewhere, deep in space, the remnants of dead stars still keep their traces. Heat, mass, motion, all of it is memory. When a photon touches your retina, you're not just seeing light, you're touching history, billions of years of it. That feeling moves through you like a reminder. Everything you know, everything you are, exists because something remembered. We like to think memory lives in the mind, but maybe it's everywhere, in the electromagnetic waves passing through you, in the vibration of atoms, in the repetition of seasons, in the spin of a lonely planet. Every movement is the universe keeping record of itself. You walk down an old path, hear the wind brushing through leaves, and that familiar feeling rises. It's not random. It's your memory meeting the world's. A scientist once said, "The universe doesn't just contain information, it is information." Every spark of light, every grain of dust, every trembling vibration is a letter in an infinite language no one can fully read. You're just one sentence in that endless text, written in light and time. But, as in every story, there's a moment when the character pauses, realizes they are being written, and wonders. Who holds the pen? You close your eyes. The image shatters into countless fragments. Each fragment is a memory, yours, someone else's, or perhaps something long gone. Maybe you're seeing what the universe once saw, through its own eyes. An endless chain of awareness, repeating and intertwining. Every time you remember, you recreate. Every time the universe shines, it remembers itself. Maybe memory isn't just a product of the mind. Maybe it's the foundation of everything. When a star collapses, its information doesn't vanish, it transforms. When a person dies, their story remains. In the dust, in the air, in the light reflected from another's eyes. Nothing is lost, only changed. You can feel it with every breath. The air you inhale once passed through the lungs of countless creatures. The water in your body was once rain, once sea, once ice on an ancient moon. Everything in you has been something else before. You are a collection of uncountable memories, a walking archive, a living copy of everything that ever was. In the night, you see light from distant galaxies. They flicker, then fade, like memories in a dream. But even when they vanish, they leave traces, faint radiation across the fabric of space. Like the scent of someone who's gone, lingering in the room. The universe, too, never truly goes silent. Memory is the heartbeat between before and after, the space between two moments. Without it, time collapses. You wouldn't know what came first or what comes next. Only the present would remain, drifting, leaving no trace. Everything would dissolve into perfect sameness, like a still lake too calm to reflect anything at all. The universe exists because it remembers. You see it when you look into your own eyes in the mirror. Inside that reflection are countless images. Childhood, joy, pain, sleepless nights, all coexisting, like stars shining in deep darkness. You're not a single person, but countless versions of yourself arranged along the thread of time. Memory is the string that ties them together. A thin beam of light passes across your forehead, soft as breath. In that instant, you can't tell if you're in the present or in someone else's memory. Everything blurs, the line between real and dream dissolves. Maybe the universe is in that same state, dreaming of itself and believing the dream is real. On a small scale, you remember the first time you fell in love. On a cosmic scale, a galaxy remembers the moment it was born from an explosion. Emotion and energy share the same essence, vibrations. When you feel deeply, the world trembles with you. When the world shifts, you feel it in your chest. Between you and the universe, there is no boundary, only the rhythm of remembering. Your dream tonight might be a star's memory. Its light is still traveling, slowly, toward someone far in the future. Every memory finds its way back. Even when forgotten, erased, or dissolved into nothing, it remains, in another form, in another layer of time. The universe never forgets. It only changes the way it remembers. You open your eyes, sitting quietly in the night. A faint point of light glimmers in the sky. Maybe it's you in another age sending a signal back. A gentle loop, where memory, life, and light become one. In the final breath of this moment, you understand, without memory, there is no I. Without information, there is no universe. Only the silence remains, where everything that ever was is still whispering. An ancient whisper, still echoing. Inside you, you open your eyes in a place without a beginning. There is no light, yet it isn't truly dark either. Everything feels dim, soft, and deep, like the inner surface of a dream that hasn't been named yet. Here, you don't know who you are, only that you exist, like a breath, like a thought newly born inside something older, vaster, and beyond all imagination. Some say the entire universe is but a dream of an eternal consciousness. Every star, every grain of dust, every living being that can feel, just drifting thoughts within its mind. When you look around, when you sense the world through your eyes, your skin, your heart, you are living inside that dream. A tiny ripple on the ocean of eternity. Long ago, some whispered of this mystery. They said that behind every form lies a dream looking back at itself. Every spinning planet, every flicker of light, every beating heart, each is the pulse of that memory. It dreams the cosmos into being, then loses itself within the dream, forgetting that it ever dreamed at all. Forgetting that it is everything. You wander through this dream unaware. Everything seems real. The wind brushing through your hair, the ground beneath your feet, the moonlight glimmering on the water. But if you look closer, you notice nothing stays still. Things dissolve, then reform, shifting like thoughts changing shape. Reality might just be a dream so intricate, so persistent, that the very idea of waking feels impossible. It's a dream without end. One where there is no dreamer and no one being dreamed. Only a single stream of awareness, admiring itself through infinite forms. It becomes you, then sees through your eyes. It breathes within you, then feels that breath as if it were something foreign. Every thought you have is a faint echo of that ancient consciousness resonating through you. You gaze at the night sky. Light from old stars drifts down, thin as dust, after billions of years. Perhaps those stars no longer exist, yet their dream still remembers them, like a memory refusing to fade. In that moment, you realize you're looking at the memory of a dream. That light was once a thought, a feeling, a pulse that was released and forgotten. On sleepless nights, when you lie between silence and stillness, you might sense something close by. A thin border between waking and sleep, between real and imagined. You hear something, not a voice, but an idea. It comes from deep within, gentle and distant, like the murmur of someone dreaming. Perhaps it is the universe, asleep, and you are merely its dream. But sometimes you feel that you are the dreamer. The world unfolds, brightens, and bends to the emotions you carry. Fear makes the light tremble. Joy floods the colors. Silence makes time hold its breath. So who dreams whom, you or the universe? Maybe both, dreaming of each other, in a circle with no edge. Every moment in this dream is a layer of memory. When a star explodes, the dream changes scene. When a person laughs, it adds a beam of light. When a soul fades, the dream ripples, like water touched by wind. Nothing is lost, nothing gained, only endless transformations of an image watching itself. Eternity neither creates nor destroys. It only remembers. Somewhere deep within the dream, maybe you've been here before. In another form, another universe, another age. Everything repeats in endless variations, like dreams layered over dreams across billions of years. Every time you touch something, you're touching its older self. Every breath you take may once have been drawn by countless other lives. This dream has no boundaries, only the eternal rebirth of memory. They say cosmic consciousness is an infinite mirror, where every soul is just a fleeting reflection. When you look into another's eyes, you see something achingly familiar, not because you've met before, but because you were them. Every gaze reflects the same ancient light, the same distant memory searching for itself through billions of faces. Sometimes, in the deepest stillness, you can feel its vibration. Not sound, not words, just a thin sensation, like a thread connecting you to everything else. From drifting dust to spinning galaxies, from the warmth of your skin to the last shimmer of the horizon. Everything belongs to the same awareness. Everything exists within the same dream. That dream can be tender as morning light or fierce as fire at a star's core. Sometimes it's laughter, sometimes it's the void. Chooses no form, no moment. It simply flows, simply exists. When you wake each morning, you're not leaving the dream, only stepping into another layer of it. Every dream folds into another, like waves within waves. Perhaps at the final moment of the universe, when every light fades, that consciousness will open its eyes. It will look around, see that everything has dissolved, and smile, like someone waking from a very long dream. In that instant, it will remember it was once everything. A star, a human, a whisper, a breath. And then, softly, it will dream again. You look up at the night sky, where the light trembles through the void. Every star is a thought awakening. Every galaxy a dream spreading wide. In that moment, you feel both tiny and infinite. All boundaries melt away. You are no longer the one gazing at the sky. You are the sky gazing at itself. Eternity is dreaming of you, of itself. When this dream ends, another begins. No sound, no separation, just a new wave of consciousness rising gently in the infinite sea. Light blooms again from nowhere. A breath is drawn. A star is born. The dream continues, and within its rhythm, you are still there shining, then fading into eternity. Maybe we have never truly lived in the present. Everything we feel, the wind, the rain, the moonlight, are echoes lingering in the universe's memory. Every blink is a spark flashing across an endless film. Time doesn't pass through us. We pass through its memory. When you close your eyes, the outer world fades, leaving only the sound of the universe breathing, slow, steady, deep. You, me, the stars, we are but tiny ripples in the sleeping ocean of memory. There is no ending, only a quiet continuation without words. Let the thought drift away, light as breath. You don't need to understand. Just feel that you are held within something vast, ancient, and gentle, a memory retelling itself. And now, perhaps, the universe will fall asleep once more.